From an anarchist viewpoint, the judiciary is seen as a key instrument of state power designed to uphold and enforce laws that maintain existing hierarchies, protect property rights, and sustain the authority of the ruling class. The judiciary, by its nature, is a system of coercion that perpetuates social inequalities, restricts individual autonomy, and legitimizes the violence of the state. This video is a critique of the judiciary from an anarchist perspective, followed by an exploration of anarchist alternatives. The judiciary is one of the central institutions that sustain the state's authority. It is tasked with interpreting and enforcing laws which are created by the state to regulate and control society. From an anarchist perspective, laws are often tools of oppression designed to protect the interests of the powerful, enforce social norms, and suppress dissent. The judiciary, in turn, legitimizes and enforces these laws, often at the expense of individual freedom and social justice. The existence of a judiciary assumes the necessity of a state to create and enforce laws, which we anarchists reject. We argue that state power is inherently oppressive because it centralizes authority, imposes decisions from above, and relies on coercion to maintain order. The judiciary, as a key component of this system, is therefore complicit in upholding structures of domination and control. The judiciary often reinforces and perpetuates social inequalities. Courts and legal systems are typically biased in favour of the wealthy and powerful who have greater access to legal resources, including skilled lawyers, and the ability to influence legal proceedings. This creates a system where justice is often denied to the working class and marginalised and oppressed people who are disproportionately criminalised and punished. The judiciary also upholds laws that protect private property, a cornerstone of capitalist societies. We anarchists critique the concept of private property as a source of economic inequality and exploitation. The judiciary, by enforcing property rights, perpetuates a system where wealth and power are concentrated in the hands of a few, while the majority are subjected to economic hardship and deprivation. The judiciary relies on coercion and punishment to enforce laws and maintain social order. Courts impose sentences that range from fines and community service to imprisonment and, in some cases, the death penalty. Anarchists tend to reject the use of punishment as a means of social control, viewing it as inherently violent and dehumanizing. Punishment does not address the root causes of harmful behavior, but instead often worsens social harm by alienating individuals from their communities and perpetuating cycles of violence. We anarchists also critique the prison industrial complex, where the judiciary plays a crucial role in funneling people into a system of mass incarceration that profits from the exploitation of prisoners. This system disproportionately affects the working class and marginalised people. The judiciary is a hierarchical and authoritarian institution. Judges hold significant power over the lives of individuals, making decisions that can have profound consequences, and they are always from the privileged classes. This concentration of power in the hands of a few is antithetical to anarchist principles, which emphasise horizontal organisation, collective decision-making, and the decentralisation of power. In addition, the judicial process is often opaque and inaccessible, with legal jargon, complex procedures, and expensive legal representation creating barriers to participation and understanding. This further alienates people from the legal system, making justice an exclusive privilege rather than a universal freedom or entitlement. We anarchists propose alternatives to the judiciary that are rooted in principles of mutual aid, restorative justice, and community self rule. These alternatives emphasise responsibility, healing, and the abolition of punitive systems as much as is possible. We anarchists tend to advocate for restorative and transformative justice. Restorative justice focuses on repairing harm and restoring relationships between those affected by wrongdoing, including the victim, the perpetrator, and the community. It involves open dialogue, mutual understanding, and a collective effort to address the underlying causes of harm and to find a resolution that is acceptable to all parties involved. Transformative justice goes further by seeking to address the broader social conditions that contribute to harmful behaviour, such as poverty, inequality, and systemic oppression. It aims to transform both individuals and society, creating conditions that prevent harm from occurring in the first place. These approaches prioritise healing, accountability, and community involvement over punishment, coercion, and the state. We anarchists advocate for community based structures of dispute resolution that are decentralised and participatory. In these structures, conflicts are resolved through mediation, negotiation, and consensus building rather than through adversarial legal processes. Community members come together to address conflicts in a way that respects the autonomy of all individuals involved and seeks solutions that are fair, equal, and non coercive. These community based structures are rooted in mutual aid and solidarity, where people support each other in resolving disputes and maintaining social harmony. By empowering communities to handle their own conflicts, we believe that people can create more just and compassionate ways of living together without the need for a centralised judiciary. Anarchists call for the abolition of prisons, which, especially with a capitalist society, we view as inhumane institutions that perpetuate violence, social inequality, and the dehumanisation of individuals. Instead of imprisoning people, some of us do advocate for alternatives, such as creating communities that are capable of addressing harm without resorting to incarceration. This involves building strong social networks, providing education and economic opportunities, and creating systems of support for those who are struggling. With anarchism, the focus is on prevention and rehabilitation rather than punishment a lot of the time. The idea is that communities would work together to address the root causes of harmful or antisocial behaviour and to provide support for individuals to heal and to reintegrate into society. However, it is possible and probably likely that with seriously antisocial or harmful behaviour, the harmful individuals would have to be placed somewhere away from communities where they cannot do harm, and this could be considered to be a kind of prison. It wouldn't have to be a place that was unpleasant to live in, and it might be a place where such people could perhaps heal or start to be reintegrated into society from. But protecting the community is important, and with such seriously harmful behaviours, it is likely or certainly possible that these individuals would have to stay in such a place. The judiciary, from an anarchist perspective, is an institution that upholds state power, perpetuates social inequalities, and relies on coercion and punishment to maintain order. We anarchists envision a world where justice is achieved through mutual aid, restorative practices, and community self rule, rather than through hierarchical and punitive systems. By rejecting the judiciary and embracing alternatives based on autonomy, cooperation, and compassion, we desire to create a society that is truly just and free from domination. Thank you for listening, everyone. All the best.